Jokic has it. Clock ticks, gonna pull one up. Jokic for the win. It's good! Jokic got it off in time!
With Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hartman! Jackpot! Kansas City!
On the Odyssey app.
Hate me or love me. You watched. That's all you could do.
And 1080.
Who do you think you are?
The Fan.
Good morning. Welcome into Football Sunday right here on 1080 The Fan on the Odyssey app, 99.5 HD2, YouTube, and Twitch for the kids. I am Joe Fisher III. Across the faux marble table, Rashad Taylor.
What up, though?
Across the glass, Jordan Schultz.
Hi there, everybody. A little poor this morning.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
Some college basketball betting?
Oh, you know it. Yeah, I got like 6 algorithms running on that.
Degenerate.
No. Damn Detroit Lions.
Degenerate.
Thought that I had something.
Rashad, I noticed in your beard you got some whites, some grays.
I got a few of them, bro. I'm officially getting old. They're in my hair. They're everywhere, well, almost everywhere. But yeah, man, I'm embracing it, man. I think a lot of people, I'm only 41, right? And so I didn't know that this was late 30s, early 40s when guys start really going gray. Like I always thought it was a lot later. Like you equate gray with older man, right? 50, something like that. But I guess I'm, much closer to 50 than I am 30 at this point. And so, man, I'm embracing it. I don't need any dyes. I'm not going to do the Just for Men hair and beard. I'm just going to.
Not going to do was it Ozzie Smith? Is he in those Just for Men commercials?
Yeah, man, nah,
He
listen.
was.
Jerry Lewis was what? How old was he when he died?
Oh, he had to
Jerry
be close
Lewis?
to 90.
And he had a full head of black hair. Like that's insane. It's one of those things.
We buying that?
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't want to be that guy. Like my uncles.
He did have some dark hair.
My uncles are 62 and 64, right? And these dudes have full heads of black hair. And I'm like, stop. It's the midnight cocoa bean. Don't use the midnight cocoa bean anymore. Just let it go. It's okay. It's okay, fellas. It's cool to grow old. I think for every one of these grays, there's an interesting story of my life that I can tell. So I'm all good.
Experience, right?
Exactly.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because I shaved all my face recently.
I remember. It was weird.
Yeah, and that will be the last time I ever do that.
I don't
But
think any man should go barefaced. Unless you're in the service, I don't think any man should go barefaced.
it's not a good look, no. But before I
Or
shaved
you're
it,
a New York Yankee.
Or
yeah,
Yankee.
I had noticed in my beard that I had about 2 or 3 grays in there as well. And it was a humbling experience. It's been a
It
humbling.
freaks you out at first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those where I'm like, oh my.
You
Yeah.
just got to
Oh.
go like the two guys in I think the favorite of mine iteration of the Just for Men commercials, Walt Clyde Frazier and Keith Hernandez. Yeah, the Rejected, talking about like a guy with gray hair going up to a lady in the bar.
It was Walt Frazier I was thinking of.
Your
in
beard
this,
is weird.
Just for Men
Your
commercial.
stash is trash. Yeah, I remember those commercials.
Yeah,
Those
and then,
commercials were great.
yeah, no play for Mr. Gray is I think
Yeah.
what Walt Clyde said. So
No,
I'll
but
never
yeah,
forget that commercial. But
that's wrong. That's wrong now. I know there are a lot of women that love a man
Little
with
salt pepper
Yeah,
action.
with some salt and pepper.
I
in
got
there.
salt in my hair. My dad, he had like a full head of gray by the time as long as I've known him my entire life. So I think, that's early 30s. He must have had all gray by then. So it definitely shows up in my hair from time to time. But before the show started, I was telling Rashad also, like, what was making me feel old this weekend is my back. I need a backiotomy.
To get it back the enemy.
Yeah.
Shoot.
It was, yeah. It's that's the one. Like, and it's not one of those like, oh yeah, I was running routes or I was playing basketball, my back went out, and like, no, it was literally Friday when I got into work. I took my jacket out of the car and threw it over my shoulder, and the motion of me going like whipping it back to put it over my shoulder was just like, yeah.
The back is such a weird part of the body because number one, you can't do anything without it. Like every other part of your body, I can still function and be okay if it's messed up.
Well, if you
even my neck, even to an extent, but my back, like,
I think you need a few other body parts,
Well,
if you don't have your heart. you know.
Well,
things.
okay, extremities. Excuse me. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Is
anything
a back?
like that.
Is your back an
I
extremity?
don't think a body part. That's why it's a body part.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's why it's a body part. You know, so but you can't do anything. I remember I had a back spasm in like 7th grade, and when I tell you it was the most debilitating thing, it was the most painful thing in my life. To this day, I would take the surgery over a back spasm. Like the surgery didn't hurt at all, like even a little bit. Doctors would ask me, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Is it supposed to? What's supposed to hurt? Like the insides or the scar? Like I wasn't sure. Like everything was kind of fine on that front. A back spasm shuts down everything. It's your neck. It's your shoulders. It's all of your back. You can't move your. It's super crazy. So I can only imagine like playing golf, and you play a lot, Joe.
You do.
Like you play a lot. I don't know. You said you weren't running routes or anything, but damn, I don't know if there's anything more damaging to your back than getting hit by a football player or something like than hard swings and golf and stuff.
Yeah, you swinging that club too hard this weekend?
Well, so it happened on Friday, the back, and took some leave, and things were feeling fine. And I went to the range Friday. Will say one of the best range sessions I've had in months. It was
You sound like Tiger
Flu
Woods.
game Joe. Listen to him.
The ball striking was just fantastic.
Oh, my
Pause.
back,
Oh,
not
whoa.
100%,
Whoa.
but damn, the ball felt good. Didn't it?
Hey, I went in with a practice plan, and here's the thing. When you go to the driving range, it's a lot of people just go and they're like, I'm going to work on this. And then it just turns into a ball, like just hitting balls.
A wallop
like
session.
you don't really like.
You're not
you-
concentrating on where. You're not really trying to hit it anywhere
Oh.
specifically anymore. You're just
Whammy!
Exactly. The practice session lasts for about the first 5-10 balls, and then you just start.
okay.
And then you're like,
okay.
let me
That's
pull out the
enough.
driver here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But no, I went in with a plan. When the alignment sticks come out of the bag, that's how you know practice is real practice
The
is
alignment
happening.
sticks.
But yeah, it was fine Friday, and then Friday night, late night, Fisher got after it. Like I haven't stayed up that late in a long time. But it
How
was
late?
3:30.
Oh, rookie numbers.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know
Come
about
on,
that.
man.
I was
on,
like
man.
up until 2
I was
that
up until
night.
4:30 last night.
Yeah,
No, you
well,
weren't.
that was up until about
Ask my
3
wife.
last night.
Why?
Huh? I'll tell you during our break.
Yeah, I need to hear this
I'll
story
tell you during
too.
the break.
Some bedroom wrestling.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. No.
But
I
then
haven't heard that in a while.
But then, yeah, so Friday night was all good. And then yesterday, I woke up and I was all right, laid in the bed a little bit longer than normal. But then the girl and I went to walk and get some food. And on the walk back home is when I started feeling it. Like, pretty low moment taken away from my masculinity when I have to hand the bag of food to her to hold and
Well,
carry home.
Was somebody's car messed up? Why did you
No, I
walk?
mean, we just went, it was just right down the street from her house,
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, we just
Nice
took
little,
a little jaunt,
Italian lifestyle.
got
there.
our steps in,
Walk to the store and back. That's what you should do if you can.
But yeah, on the way back, that's when it started really getting bad and like having to take a break like halfway through the walk. And then she brought out the Theragun at home and the heating pad. Like it was bad. It wasn't good. Didn't stop me from playing some Golden Tee last night though at the bar.
Oh, it never does. It shouldn't.
No, we
It shouldn't.
got in many games.
Rule number 76. No excuses. Play like a champion.
Yeah, got many games of Golden Tee in last night.
Yeah. Awesome. I've never been good at Golden Tee. I want to be. There's like tournaments at I don't know how many different bars have Golden Tee tournaments and
I
stuff like
know.
that, but I would love to get good at that game. That's one of the games. Like if I could have like maybe 3 arcade games just in the house, Golden Tee is definitely one.
$6,000.
Oh, I've looked it up.
Yeah, I was looking at. I went to their website last night to try and find what bar closest to me had Golden Tee,
Mm-hmm.
and as I Googled Golden Tee, it showed up on like the shopping section, like how much it costs to buy a Golden Tee.
Hell yes.
And it's $6,000.
Damn.
I was like, hey, not a bad
You
investment.
might be able to find one cheaper on eBay.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Costco,
used or
Costco will
whatever.
have them in no
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
See, there's got to be a smaller version or something that like kids.
No,
I
I
don't
need
know.
the full thing. Like I know the smaller version you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
what's the one the kind of the mini joints?
Yeah, they do like
Yeah.
the Midway, like they'll put NFL Blitz on
Yeah.
there, other old arcade games. Yeah.
You can get the little stand for it and everything like that. But yeah,
No, the legit Golden Tee, the Golden Tee PGA Tour Clubhouse Deluxe Edition, I'm looking at right now on the PGA Tour Superstore, $6,599.
It might be
That's
a
not-
worthy investment.
that's not bad though.
No?
That's not bad. And if you want to be a cheap ass about it and charge people 25 cents to 50 cents to play it, like
Your
You
buddies.
could
You could.
eventually
You
get your
could.
money back.
yeah, you really could.
My
Like, I mean,
my buddy, he had a moment yesterday where like the wheel like accidentally hit the ball, so it went like a foot forward and counted as
Nice.
a stroke. And he's just like, "Oh, dude, what the hell?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure you can take a mulligan." So he goes to the menu. They wanted 25 cents for a mulligan.
Are you serious?
I'm like,
brilliant.
Golden
That is
Tee,
brilliant.
you bastards.
do you remember playing NBA Jam or Blitz and you only play for a quarter and then the
Yes.
game is over unless you put another
Oh,
quarter,
God.
another 50 cent in?
I-
So it costs like $3 to play the game sometime.
I was at Ground Control Arcade last night for a friend's birthday and literally played NBA Jam and could not like laugh harder. I think when we got to the end of the first quarter, and he's heating up.
Yeah,
He's
2
on
minute
fire.
quarter and then it's over.
Yeah,
It's like,
2
what-
minutes, you're done.
What are you talking about?
Add another 2 credits, bitch.
I remember it was at the in Nintendo Classic. We had that as a family where you had to blow on the cartridges
Of
before
course,
you,
the greatest system ever made.
I had a football game. It wasn't Madden because they weren't making it by that point, but I could never finish a full game because something would happen with the Nintendo Classic where the cartridge would like pop up on accident or something would happen where the game ended up getting, frozen. And I remember one time I'm in like the third quarter, like halfway through the third quarter. I'm like, dude, I might actually get through a full game here. And my sister put her like cup of water or like it was like a smoothie. She was drinking something and she set it on the Nintendo Classic,
Bad
and
move.
that was enough. That contact of like setting something on it was enough to make the cartridge pop up. And
Jeez.
oh, I lost it. I major crash out on me from that moment.
Oh, and especially in the
I was
days
so
of,
close.
in the
to
days of
finishing
not
that
being
game.
able to save games. Like the one downside to the classic Nintendo is there was no memory card or there was no
No.
anything. It was just a wrap. Like, so you can make it as far as you've ever made it on Mario. You're on level 6 and it's time for bed or whatever. If you were smart, like I'm sure a lot of us were, you put something in front of the red dot, the red power dot that's on, and this way you can come home from school or something like that, and as long as your mom hasn't been in your room doing stuff, man, you're right back where you started. Like that's the one cold part about Nintendo. But yeah, those games weren't made to be finished, I don't think.
No.
I think they were supposed to. I think it would take, and I'm sure somebody on the text line knows how long it actually takes to beat Zelda.
Ooh.
Like sitting
the-
up
the
through
gold one?
Yeah, like sitting up through
Oh,
it.
the
I
Ocarina
mean,
of Time.
yeah,
The long
no,
one.
the original Legend of Zelda. Like
Oh,
the
back
first,
on
yeah,
like the NES.
on NES.
Nintendo,
like
yeah.
without being able to save, I'm sure that took 4 or 5 hours to complete.
At least. I would think that was one of the things they could shove a few
And you'd have to
different
be,
levels
and I'm
back
talking
in.
about a gamer, like a great gamer knows exactly what to do, all the secret levels, 4 hours maybe, like. Because by the time we all knew how to beat Mario, I think we all did it within like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think the game it was NES Play Action Football is what it was called.
Hell yes.
But yeah, I remember.
Hut.
Hut, hut, hut,
Hike.
Yeah, it, just a very frustrating moment when my sister did that. It was almost as if she like knew.
She did it on
also.
purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she was like, this shouldn't mess it up, but there's a chance it's going
So
to. So
the-
let's find
The
out.
next time you guys just happen to be around each other and she's watching something cool, Vanderpump or something, whatever it is,
Below deck.
just accidentally go, oh, I'm sorry, is this the power button? Is this what this
This is for,
does?
this is for the NES football game
Yeah.
you ruined.
Yeah.
Also,
How's it feel?
that does remind me. I still hold against them the carton of chocolate milk that they drank like 20 years ago at the house. My dad never bought chocolate milk. It was like just one random day he bought some chocolate milk, and I never got one
What a
drink of it.
delicacy.
Yeah, right. It was one of
Yeah.
those like, oh my god, what do you have
Especially in the
chocolate milk?
90s and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like,
I'm like what's going on? Did you get a raise?
yeah, right? Yeah.
Did you get a promotion?
Remember the milkman
We're
back
rich.
in those days? I miss the milkman.
The milkman.
You had a
Yes, like
milkman?
actual. We all had milkmen back in the 90s when we
that
were
was,
kids.
I definitely hadn't.
I don't think
there
I
was
don't
no
think my neighborhood
milkman
was nice
showing
enough
up
to have
on
a milkman.
yeah, no milkman showing up on Nez Pierce Court in Tualatin.
Well, they were available. I
Would
guess
have been
and
cool, but
It was something else. I miss like the farm fresh like delivery of stuff. Like and yeah, now
fresh
you can
from
just,
the udder.
yes, now you can get like Uber Eats, but it just ain't the same.
No.
But no, I'll hold it against my sister still to this day. It's like you guys drank that whole chocolate
Didn't
milk
offer
carton,
you any.
and I didn't get one single drink. I came home from school hoping to get some of that chocolate milk, and it was already gone. And I
You thought about it. Is it school? It's like, oh, I can't wait to get home and
was
get
like, oh,
that
yeah,
chocolate milk.
And I don't know what happened. Like it was. I don't think that chocolate milk ended up lasted a day in our fridge before
It
it was
won't.
gone.
Like it used to. Now I think there's still chocolate milk in my refrigerator because my son loves it.
Still
I can't
waiting
drink
for
it
them
as
to
much, but yeah,
someday show up to a holiday, Christmas party, something like that, and have a chocolate milk in hand and be
For
like,
you.
here, yeah,
This
here
is
you
for
go.
you.
Here it is, buddy.
All
there's
these
some
years
pretty
later.
good chocolate milks now too.
Oh,
So,
Trader Joe's. That is an underrated one. Go get the Trader Joe's chocolate milk. It's like you died and went to heaven.
New Seasons has one that's in the glass bottle.
Yes, that's actually almost
Legit.
better than the
Is it
Trader Joe's.
Nesquik.
Oh man, that's
Nesquik is
goated,
classic.
man.
Yeah, my buddy.
I'm
growing
a
up
syrup
had
guy
Nesquik
though.
all the time.
I'm a syrup guy though. You know, a little syrup in the milk and stir it up. Like that's
Nah.
me all day.
Give me the Costco powder because the big old Nesquik at Costco is what, like $8.90 or $9 or something like that. So you get it for a while and it's a little cheap.
Football.
Why not?
No, more chocolate milk.
More chocolate milk talk.
I mean, we can. I can
I don't want to talk
go on
about
for
the
days
Lions.
and days.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Detroit Lions Washington Commanders game. That we're gonna have to lead off with that. We obviously also had the Chiefs Texans game. We have 2 more games today. We have a national championship tomorrow.
What a weekend!
Woo!
A national championship on a
And a
holiday.
3-day weekend?
I know.
Yeah.
And an inauguration tomorrow.
This is what Super Bowl should be.
Okay.
Oh, what? No,
What?
nobody.
Anybody get in on that Trump meme coin?
All I hope is that whoever wins the national championship and they go to the White House, that we get another fast food feast. That was one of the funnier moments during the first presidential term of Donald Trump, is when
was.
Clemson went to the White House, and instead
And
of
they
like
had instead of a nice,
and
they had McDonald's.
instead of a nice meal that's provided by, I don't know, the president of our country, it's like, just get him Taco Bell.
Have what you always have.
They'll be fine with some Mickey D's. I love the Filet-O-Fish.
We've got some Big Macs.
Yeah.
You see the spread here. The chicken nuggets, I might just dip it a little bit in the honey mustard. Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
man, jeez.
It's the most American thing there is, fast food. People who say. But yeah, let's talk about the Commanders-Lions game, because as far as the most surprising outcome of the 2 games yesterday, that was definitely it. We get to that next here, Football Sunday. Joe Fisher, Rashad Taylor across the table, Jordan Schultz across the glass. This is Football Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
You hear about the fentanyl crisis so much.
Talking about that upside down pineapple life in the commercial break.
Put your keys in this.
I almost
in
said a
this
swear
bowl.
word just
Oh
now.
wow, there's beds and everything. Little,
There's so many
little
things.
chocolates on there. Is that what those
No,
are?
those are not chocolates.
Oh, those. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Oh, they put mints on the pillow here and everything.
Oh, thank
This
you
is
for
fancy.
the complimentary weight.
Man, imagine having to sanitize that place. Oh wow, there's some thing. Oh, you
They
see-
got
You
stuff.
see that?
Yeah, they got stuff.
Oh
man.
yeah, How about
Definitely
that?
got stuff.
Shout out the velvet rope. My God.
Yeah, man. Heard there's a lot going on in there, man.
And shout out the Washington Commanders. Left hand up. Who are we? Go Commanders. And now that leaves the lonely Dallas Cowboys as the NFC team that has gone the longest without an NFC Championship game appearance. So
Go Cowboys.
let me make this segment about the Cowboys.
It's not too late for you to find a new squad, man. Like I think
No,
given the way
no.
seriously, you've been a loyal soldier for your Cowboys, man, through thick and thin. I think it's okay to leave a abusive relationship.
Not
don't
when it
have to
comes
stay.
not when it comes to sports fandom.
That's weird.
I'm not a Jason Swigard. All right, listen. I'm sure there were Washington fans just a few years ago that are like, man, I can't do it anymore.
Listen, me and the Patriots are
Dan Snyder is a terrible owner. I just
are on
I,
a break.
I can't
right
do
now.
this.
Me and the Patriots are on a break
Stop.
right now.
You
Me and the
of
Blazers.
all
Me and the
fan
Blazers are
bases.
on. Me and the Blazers are on a break
Well,
right
that's
now.
that's
I
understandable.
mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. Me and the Patriots and the Blazers, we're on a break right now, just because I'm gonna be back to the Patriots. They just did some stupid stuff for right now, but the Blazers, like, we're not talking for a minute. I'm moving on.
But if you're a Commanders fan,
You're
congratulations.
loving life.
Yeah, I mean,
They were broke up for a while too, though.
that's what I'm
You know what
saying is
Fans
that
are
if,
broke up with them for a minute too.
so then if trends continue, then just give me 2 years and the Cowboys will be in the NFC Championship.
I mean,
game,
it's not
right?
it's not impossible.
No?
As long as Jerry is your owner, I don't think anything good's gonna happen. But,
Owner / GM
and I
/
think-
head coach
and
Jerry
I think
Jones.
and I think that's the thing. Washington wasn't ish for a long time because their owner just wasn't ish, and made stupid decisions, both from a civil rights standpoint and from a football standpoint.
Just from a human standpoint.
consistent bad decisions. Over the last couple of years, you've seen this Commanders team make great decisions. Hiring Dan Quinn, a great decision. Going out and getting Cliff Kingsbury, great decision. Drafting the Heisman winner, great decision. Over and over and over and over again. And now here they are with arguably the best rookie quarterback that we've ever seen. Is he the best rookie quarterback we've ever seen?
I want to say that yes, Bob. I'll say it. Best rookie quarterback of all time. Now, granted, that is just a 1 season sample size because it only applies to your rookie year.
No, it
so
does,
we'll
and-
see. I mean, I can't ever remember a rookie having this much success. Has there ever been a rookie
Last year,
quarterback?
CJ Stroud.
I know, but I mean, he's one upped him. I mean,
I'm saying, yeah, like last year, that was the only time I can really think of. I think RG3 had a really good rookie year. Ben Roethlisberger had an amazing rookie year. He went undefeated for like up until he got to the playoffs, I think it was.
I think Cam Newton had a pretty good rookie year too.
Yeah, so there's guys out here that had Tim Tebow's rookie year wasn't terrible, so there's guys that have had great rookie
God.
years. No, seriously.
no
but it's
rookie quarterback has ever started in the Super Bowl. There have been a few.
only on Madden.
There have been a few that have gone to the conference championship game. Brock Purdy, the most recent. Mark Sanchez, Joe Flacco, Ben Roethlisberger, and Sean King. But all 5 of those rookie quarterbacks.
Sean
lost the
King,
game.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
I
God, a
forgot. That's a
throwback
name
to
I
that
haven't heard
Bucks
in
name.
a long time.
Hey, can I just poke the Cowboys bear a little bit more? I'm pretty sure Dak Prescott had a really good rookie season.
Dak
as
had an
well.
amazing rookie
Oh,
year.
yeah.
He did.
But he sucks. I mean,
And I think that's the
Well,
thing. Like,
wins and losses aren't a quarterback stat, actually.
and I think that's the thing. Like, if you look at CJ Stroud's second year, was good, but obviously not as good as his first year, just because I think once they got a year worth of tape on you, it's a little bit tougher for you to go out there and do some of those things over and over again. I think that's why Patty Mahomes is so awesome because, after his first year, like he came out and did it again and then did it again. And then this is his worst statistical year this year, and they're damn near undefeated. So it's kind of one of those things. Like, it's not necessarily about what you do as a rookie, but how you continue to get better after everybody knows what you're doing. But you're looking at a guy in Jaden Daniels, like, I don't give a F what the numbers say. I don't give a F what history says. Like, I'm here to win. He made some amazing throws, like like 10-year veteran throws in that game yesterday.
I believe it was also, I saw a little stat on the graphic during the game last night that the first time in history a rookie quarterback has had 2 playoff games where they account for over 300 total yards. So at one point he had over 250 passing yards and over 50 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's done that now in back-to-back games. But, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely wild that the Commanders were the season alone that they had, but going into Detroit, I mean, probably with the second or third best Super Bowl odds, and not just winning, not just skating by, not just squeaking by, dominating.
Yeah.
Like
2
on
touchdowns.
both sides of the ball. Yeah, a 2-touchdown, 45-31 victory. You had a defensive touchdown in there. You were able to force 4 turnovers. One of those should not have been a turnover because Jameson Williams, baby, what are you doing? Let's just.
Oh, baby, no.
You're-
What you doing?
If you're not a quarterback and you're having to throw the ball and your guy is covered, just throw it out of bounds. Like you're not that guy.
Run,
To
take
be-
a sack, do something
Yeah,
other
but
than
don't
that.
throw
Like,
it.
Yeah.
But let's not take away. I told Joe this before the show. I am renaming Jared Goff to Interception Goff. That is now his new first name. He needs to go down to the courthouse to get that officialized. But he is now Interception Goff, or Turnover Goff, I think is actually what I said, for the rest of his career, because a fumble and 3 picks in the semis is
2
not-
picks for Jared Goff. All right. The
Okay,
third one was Jameson Williams.
Yeah, buddy. All right, fine. So 3 turnovers out of 4 that were his fault, right? He fumbled and he turned it over through the air. That is unacceptable for a veteran quarterback.
He looked like he was back in St. Louis.
Yeesh.
That's what it looked like. It was pretty nasty to see.
Did he ever play for St. Louis, or were they already the LA Rams?
I think
he
that
was
was
in-
actually his first.
Yeah,
it
he
was
in
the
St. Louis
first
for a few
season
years.
in LA.
The
Was
Rams
it?
have been in LA for what, 5 years now? So this is his 9th.
No, I'm fairly sure that was like Jeff Fisher taking them in. It was Jared Goff's rookie season to the Los Angeles area. Let me see here.
Was it?
Yeah, LA Rams, 2016.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Damn,
never
they've been
St.
there
Louis.
since 2016.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, forgive me. It looks like he did when he was in L.A. for those few years before they traded him for Matt Stafford. Like he didn't look like the confident Jared Goff that we've seen over the last couple of years.
I mean, the Lions just didn't look like the Lions
They
that we've
didn't.
seen over the last couple of years.
No,
I
they
mean, it
didn't.
was just.
They did for a while. That first half, we can't forget. Like the wheels kind of fell off in the second half for the Lions. But
Well,
in
it
the
was-
first half, it was back and forth. They made that mistake, that fumble that you talked about.
Well,
That
the
was-
pick 6 that happened in the first half also. That made
And
it
it was still
quarter,
close.
right?
24-14. I
And-
want to say.
And it was still a close game going into the half. And it was like, okay, was it a 10-point lead? I can't really.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it
remember,
was either
yeah.
31-21 or 27-17, one of the two.
Yeah, so it was still, 31-21. So 10-point game. You still got a chance to come out there and do it. You score in the third quarter, closer game, and then fourth quarter they just couldn't stop making mistakes. And I think sometimes that gets in teams' heads. When you tell them, man, you can't make mistakes, you can't do this, and you go
Well,
out there and make all the mistakes.
But also, I mean, that goes on the team, but Dan Campbell, and he took the blame for this. You have a 4th and 2 deep in the red zone, and you have 12 men on the field and give them an automatic first down. Like,
Yeah.
that is just like, when that happened, you're just like, dude,
It's
it's
inexcusable.
like, come on. Like, your season is on the line, and you already gave up a 4th down in this drive to begin with. And so Washington is going for it on 4th down again in this drive. And it's like, all right, here's your chance. If you stop them, then you can go and tie this game up. You can take it, you can get it back. And then you have 12 men on the effing field. Like, that is
Mental mistakes. There's nothing you can say about that. Like,
at that point when they called that, I was just like, all right. I was like, this is done, because now
here's-
they're going to score, and sure enough, they scored. And I was like, that's what you get.
and here's what's crazy for me. I've never understood 12 men on the field. I've never understood how somebody can make that mistake. You're not a part of this play. Like, it's different if it's like if somebody's hurt or something like that, or you're sharing snaps and everything like that. But in most cases, bro, you're not a part of this play. Why are you on the field right now? Unless like somebody was hurt and they didn't tell somebody that I'm going back in the game, and so they got back in there. But once you get there and find somebody's in your position, oh shoot, I'm not in this play. Let me get off the field. So I figured somebody would know once they're both lined up in the exact same spot. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here right now. So 12 men on the field always kind of confused me. It's like how that mental mistake happens.
Well, and I can't remember at that point. Can't you burn a timeout too if you need to?
Possibly. I think there's a certain point
Where
when
you're not allowed to call it.
Yeah,
so I think that's what I'm thinking about.
or when the refs called the penalty, so it was
Exactly.
just too late for them to do that.
Well, the coaches need to be on top of that too. It's like Rashad asking, how can the players themselves? I always lean on, okay, who the hell is organizing this? And that's where you look to. It's like, well, somebody on the coaching staff screwed that one up.
Well, and then so at that point it's 38-28, and then the next drive is when you have the Jameson Williams interception, the receiver pass, where I was thinking, because you know who the receiver coach for the Lions is, Rashad? Antoine Randall.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so something tells me that he got in on the headset and he's like,
Let's run the play that we practice, guys.
You know
Here
what's,
we go.
You know what's worked for me pretty well in the playoffs?
Annexation of Puerto Rico, guys. Let's go.
I have a little bit of history running this wide receiver pass. I think you guys should give that a try.
Why not put it in there? I think it was a good idea.
Also, Jameson Williams with his touchdown. I don't know if you saw his touchdown celebration.
I kind of did.
Oh, my God. He was just he was giving the three pumps to the ground. Like he was straight up humping the ground.
Doing the crybaby?
Jahmyr Gibbs and I think it was Amon-Ra St. Brown sprinted over to him and pulled him up. Like, bro, do not.
Yeah, don't ever do that ever again. That's not a good one.
It's like,
yeah,
Jesus.
I got to check it out. It sounds like he might have been doing the crybaby or something. But it was, honestly, the second half was a disappointing effort. Like, I understand, the fumble happened. I totally thought that the Lions were going to come back in the second half and make it their game. Then they scored in the third, and it was like, okay, here they go. This is going to be where the Lions kind of take over and ultimately pull this game out. And the rookie quarterback said not to be, and he had a great game. He's continued to have great games in the playoffs so far, on his way to the NFC Championship. I don't know, man. I think Washington could go to the Super Bowl. Considering the way they've played over the last couple of games and really over the course of the season, the Commanders could end up in the Super Bowl this year.
Well, the NFC, it's going to be represented by one of three teams, and that is the Washington Commanders, the Los Angeles Rams, or the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's talk about that next. Since we're talking NFC, let's talk about the matchup that is today that will decide the other team in the NFC Conference Championship game. We do that next. But first, Jordan Schultz, SportsCenter update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs happening this weekend. You had two games yesterday. First, the Chiefs beating the Texans 23-14. The final, a safety at the end, though, given up by the Chiefs, causing the spread, which was 9.5, not to be covered by Kansas City. Controversial ending for the game, but Pat Mahomes had a touchdown pass. Kareem Hunt with the touchdown rushing as well. Travis Kelce caught that touchdown pass from Pat Mahomes in the win for Kansas City. The Commanders, in a surprising one, beating the Lions 45-31 the final. Jared Goff throwing a couple of interceptions. Of course, one that is listed as his is actually not his. He did fumble the ball as well, though. Jaden Daniels for the Commanders, 2 touchdowns and 51 yards rushing as well. On to today's schedule, you got a noon kickoff for the NFC divisional round of the Eagles hosting the Rams. The Eagles a 6.5-point favorite. That one is on NBC and Peacock. And then at 3:30, you got the AFC matchup between the Bills and the Ravens. That one's basically a pick-em. Baltimore a 1-point favorite on the road. That's a 3:30 kick on CBS. Your Blazers in action last night, losing to the Rockets 125-103. Scoot Henderson, though, a great game in the the loss, I should have said. 21 points. 3 of 5 from three-point land. The Blazers back in action tonight hosting the Bulls as a 6.5-point underdog. 6 p.m. tip there. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Did you score a smart speaker over the holidays? Just ask it to play 1080 The Fan.
Tired of your
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
The NFC Conference Championship game is going to have the Washington Commanders. My God, what year is it?
Man.
Hey, can we put some respect on Mike Sainristil's name, by the way?
Who?
Sainristil, the dude picked off Jared Goff twice last night.
Oh.
That pick at the end of the first half.
What the hell is that?
I'm like, who are you talking about? Oh, just the NFL player that had
Like,
a huge
had an
game
amazing
last night.
game
Yeah.
yesterday, career game.
I just recognize
for
him as
Washington.
DB number 1.
No, number 0, actually, is the guy that I'm talking about. But he literally helped the Lions, or the Commanders beat the Lions in that win. But it's pretty crazy that he was able to pick Jared Goff off twice. But I think if you look at the pick that he had...
once, because Jameson
thank you.
Williams.
You're right. Okay, sorry. Picked him off one time, but that pick that he did actually get off of Goff, just kind of eyeing exactly where that ball was going. It was supposed to go over the top at the back of the end zone. Like, that was a pretty good play drawn up by Ben Johnson, right? But no, Sainristil had something else to say about it, and it just like, whoop, snuck in like a little old Chris Berman. I gotta say, not sure that one is Goff's fault either.
I got a text here on the Vancouver Ford text line. You guys need to wake up and reconsider what you're doing for a living because you aren't good at doing this. The Lions beat themselves, not the Commanders. Hey, listen, Daniel, I understand it sucks when your favorite team loses in the playoffs, so I understand the anger that you have in that text. It's okay. But also I do want to point out that pretty sure the Commanders sacked and forced that fumble on Jared Goff.
That's what happened.
I don't think Jared Goff just took the hike and then set the ball on the turf to give to the Commanders. As Jordan just mentioned, pretty sure the Commanders also picked off Jared Goff twice, one of those at the end of the game. Jameson Williams, yeah, he did throw that pass, but also it could have been incomplete. It could have been dropped, and he made a play and intercepted the pass. So while the Lions gave the Commanders opportunities, the Lions were there for a reason because they're really good, and the Commanders played a better game than them. Again, sorry. I can tell in the text someone had a little bit too much money on the Lions in last night's game.
I mean, when you get sacked twice and you throw 2 to 3 interceptions, we're going to say it says 3 in the stat sheet.
No,
but it's 2.
it says 3, and then
but
Jameson Williams
but
got
it's
his
2.
own.
Yeah,
Goff has 3.
Yeah, so it's you had a bad game. Yes, you're absolutely right, but I think it's important to make sure you know that you have a quarterback that was able to scramble on you and get yards when he needed to. You had
51 yards at that.
You had a running back in Brian Robinson who it seemed like whenever he wanted got 7, 8, 9, 8 yards, off rip every single time he got the ball for the most part, and with strong runs too. So I understand saying that the Lions, they did their part in making sure they could lose that game, but let's not act like the Commanders just showed up and the interceptions just fell in their lap and the sacks just happened to Jared Goff fell on the ground and they just touched him for a sack. Like, that's not what happened. Like, they got their ass whooped.
That Jaden Daniels threw 300 yards passing on zero coverage. Like, he dropped a dime into, I think it was Brown's hands at one point near the goal line. I mean, Terry McLaurin literally outran the Lions defense on that, 58 yard,
yeah,
58 yard screen pass where he split the 2 defenders and then outran a dude. I mean, the Commanders won that game. That was not a Lions lost this game. That, there are games like that happen where you're like, oh man, the Lions, they should have won that. No, they shouldn't have, because Commanders were clearly the better team all game.
Yeah, my buddy Mike is a Lions fan. Sorry, Mike. I know it was a tough loss. I was gonna hang out with him yesterday, and I was like, he's probably pissed right now.
Yeah.
He's probably pissed.
Hey, let's not forget, too, that, like I said last segment, quarterback, wins and losses, not necessarily exactly, the stat that I think people should look at.
Well, if it's Justin Herbert, Rashad would beg to differ on that.
Well, I think Rashad knows that he doesn't have a wide receiver other than Ladd McConkey to throw to this season, and, they've been leading on a running game, and Justin Herbert basically has been trying to do it himself. Not getting sacked. They got a good offensive line, but nobody to throw it to. Anyways, the Commanders Commanders have a lot of guys. Like, they got Terry McLaurin that busted out this
they got
year.
dudes,
De'Ami
man.
Brown, he's kind of somebody that was just like mid all season and then has this 100-yard receiving game. You got Zach Ertz, a great tight end. Austin Eckler, the veteran, backing up Brian Robinson Jr. Like, they've got weapons. So, yes, Jaden Daniels, best rookie quarterback ever. But this collection of guys, and then coached by Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, he's working some magic with what he's got.
Yeah, again, this team, the Commanders went out and won that game. It was not fluky.
Yeah,
it was.
If it was a 3-point loss, or they lost by 7 and then they drove at the end and they got some back. Now, if we're talking about the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole different story as far as how that game went. That took a lot of help from a lot of referees per usual. But
The
this
Pat
wasn't one of
Mahomes
those
making
things.
out with the referee meme is just clutch.
But this wasn't one of those things. Like, the Commanders deserve that win. They went out there and they played better top to bottom, offensively and defensively. There's really not much to say about it. So,
well,
sorry.
For the sake of getting back on the clock, let's take a break and talk about who they could face, the Rams or the Eagles, because I want to do the AFC at the top of the hour. An hour 2, do the AFC breakdown, and then also the national championship game. So take a break, come back with Rams v. Eagles, the other NFC divisional round game here today. Do that next here. Football Sunday, 1080 The Fan. Looking.
You're listening to Sports Sunday with Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
So the Commanders are going to be taking on either the Rams or the Eagles. That is the other NFC divisional game today at noon. That is on NBC or the Cock. You can watch that. Man, I mean, two very different performances from these teams in the wild card round. The Eagles with one of the more underwhelming victories in a playoff game that I can remember. I mean, that was my nap game right there. That was, I tuned in for maybe the first quarter and a half against the Packers, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what's going on here, but I think this is a good time to catch some Z's. And then when I woke back up, drifted back into consciousness, I think they were only up 16-10 at that point in the fourth quarter. I was like, oh my God, what is happening with it? The Eagles are one of the weirdest teams in the sense that you are 14-3 in the regular season, but I have little faith in them outside of Saquon Barkley.
Listen to the Cowboys fan over here.
Hey, I took
This guy.
Hey, I took them to win the division and go to the NFC Championship game, all right? So I have a bit of rooting interest to for the sake of just being right, because who doesn't want to be right? But also, when I watch this team, they're just funky. They're weird. Jalen Hurts is to me, one of the most overhyped quarterbacks in the league. And if it's not Saquon Barkley running for a $150, 175, like, this team has little chance for winning. And then the Rams, I mean, you literally got their best defensive performance of the season last week against the Vikings, seemingly. I'd have to go back and look at if there was a better game that they've played. Maybe Jordan knows because he's our resident Rams fan.
I mean,
9 sacks, though, for God's sakes.
Dude, it's pretty crazy to see after the season where, Aaron Donald's gone, they're going to have to replace a lot. Well, look who arrives in verse on the defensive line. They've got still a really great defense. It's kind of shocking.
I love Braden Fisk, too.
Oh, Fisk is also good. I mean, nobody thought that they were going to be where they were, but because of Fisk, because of Verse, obviously the weapons on the offensive side of the ball are still pretty stout besides an injured Cooper Kupp. Like, they actually, and Matt Stafford's still playing like he's 32, 33 instead of 36. They actually have a chance to get to the NFC Championship, and I don't think they're going to do so well in cold weather, but this is, for me, I'm just happy that they're here. They're playing with house money at this point.
No, I don't think any of us really expected the Rams to be the team from the NFC West that we expected to see here at this point in the season. I don't think any of us really thought that. I don't know, was it Seattle that I had my money on to win this whole thing?
We all picked San Francisco.
Was it San Francisco? Yeah, it was all picked San Francisco. Either way, it definitely wasn't the Rams. And you're right, man. Without Aaron Donald there, they figured out their defensive identity. Like, that was supposed to be the end of that great defense, led by the Lawrence Taylor of, this generation. And they've been able to answer the bell, But I'm kind of with you, Jordan. Like, freezing rain in Philly, like, I don't like that for this Rams team, but like I was just telling Joe, what the hell do we really know? Nothing. There's no way Detroit's supposed to lose that game yesterday. Like, all of us definitely picked Detroit to go to the Super Bowl. I think most of us had them in the Super Bowl, right? Or close to the Super Bowl. No, you didn't.
I had him in the Super Bowl. We all three had them in the Super Bowl.
So what do any of us know? Every pundit, yesterday picked them to win.
Hey, I was sitting here a couple weeks ago. I want to say, I was like, I can only see 4 teams winning the Super Bowl, and the Lions were the only team out of the NFC that had faith in winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So like we really, know nothing, as fans. And I think, honestly, the reason Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts has kind of taken, I don't want to say a step back, but when you get a Saquon Barkley, you feed Saquon Barkley. We don't need to do a bunch of play actions or a bunch of, bootleg, whatever the case is. Like, I've got a guy who can make things happen on its own. Like, so I don't need to try to rush for 100 yards every game anymore. And I don't need to try to throw for 300 yards a game. I've got this beast that's going to be able to knock off 6-7 yards almost every single carry. Man, yeah, like I can take a step backwards. Like, but the difference is, like, there's Lamar Jackson. It's easy to say Jalen Hurts is weak now when you look at Lamar Jackson, who pretty much got the exact same luxury and getting a Derrick Henry this year, and his numbers are far better this year than they were last year. So it just kind of depends. But I think Jalen Hurts is playing within the system, and he's not making mistakes. I think that's the best thing, that's happening. He's not making a lot of mistakes. Doesn't mean he's throwing a lot of touchdowns or anything, but they're winning games. And I think that's ultimate. He is a great game manager. I think that's okay. I think, considering his skill set, people think he should be more, but I think he is a great game manager for what that team is asking him to do.
Well, the Eagles and Rams have played before this season. The Eagles won on, I believe that was like a Monday night game in LA. They won 37-20. That was the Saquon Barkley 250-yard performance or whatever he had, where he just ran all over the Rams. So that is at least some historical context for this game. But fun little note here with the Rams outside of Week 17 against the Seahawks, which, it was a game they did play, but a little bit of context in that is that they already had the division locked up. They did give up 30 points in that game, but over the last 5 weeks, they have held their opponents outside of that Seahawks game, every single opponent to less than 10 points. The 49ers, they won 12-6. They beat the Jets 19-9. Beat the Cardinals 13-9. You had the Seahawks last game of the year. That was a 30-25 loss. But then last week in the playoffs, 27-9. So over the last 5 weeks, last month or so, basically since that Buffalo game when they gave up 42 points, this defense has been locking down their opponents and making them pedestrian. Hell of a performance by them against the Vikings last week. You made Sam Darnold look like Jets Sam Darnold.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to get 9 sacks, that ties a playoff game record. This defense is looking very, very good right now. It's one of those, something's got to give, right? Is this defense going to be able to have that same performance in Philadelphia when it's supposed to be 15, 20 degrees outside? And Philly, say what you want about the fans being absolutely terrible. Them as a collective at the Link, 60, 70,000 strong, that's a tough place to play. So I am very intrigued to see what they're going to do to try and bottle up Saquon Barkley this time, because in that first matchup, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but again, what the hell do we know? I think the Rams had a great game last week against Aaron Jones and Cam Akers.
Yeah,
cool. I think those are fine running backs, right? In fantasy, they're probably going to get you some points a couple weeks out of the year. But that's not Derrick Henry. That's not Lamar Jackson. They're going to have their hands full trying to stop those guys. I don't think Derrick Henry is going to be held to just 50-something yards like they did to Aaron Jones or like they did to Cam Akers. I don't think that's going to happen. And then I don't think they're going to hold Lamar to just 20 or 30 yards. But again, it's sports. What the hell do we know? But I'm honestly saying I think they're just kind of overmatched, man. I think this is Lamar's year, at least fingers crossed. I'm hoping this is Lamar's year. He's got to exercise his demon and not just win the Super Bowl. He's got to beat Patty Mahomes. He can win the Super Bowl, but it's not going to feel as good unless he beats Patrick Mahomes.
As far as the Eagles go, though, this game, I anticipate it's going to be close. The Eagles right now are 6.5-point favorite, I want to say. Yeah, 6.5 point. So they're saying this is going to be a one-possession game. I do think that Philly ends up pulling it out, though. This team is one of those where even if they are playing a sloppy game, they somehow still figure it out. When they're playing their best, they are literally one of the best teams in the NFL. They're able to win by double digits, multiple possessions. It's one of those teams where, sort of like the Chiefs in a sense, where it's gosh, if they were to play a complete game, they are unstoppable.
They really are.
They have one of the best rosters, top to bottom, both sides of the ball.
And they've been there. They didn't win, but we know Philly has at least, been there. And so if they can kind of put it all together right now, especially with this Saquon Barkley, this version of Saquon Barkley, who could have been the all-time leading rusher for a season, but was I'm good. Don't really need it, So that was some Barry Sanders type stuff. I'm excited for this game, but I do think that 6 points in this weather, running the ball, I think it could be a blowout.
Also, just want to share a comment from Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions, after the game last night.
Oh, yes.
Commanders earned that win. Lions didn't.
You know what? That is why.
So, again, sorry that texter 20, 30 minutes ago. But when the head coach of the team that lost is even saying, no, they definitely deserve that, we didn't, I think that speaks volumes. Also, another texter brought up this that I thought was pretty funny. Also, how many losing teams in history in history have a press conference after and go, "We played perfect, made no mistakes, executed everything we wanted, and just lost." Of course, every team and plenty of fans think they beat themselves. Yeah, it's very rare unless it's Will Howard that says like, "Yeah, I don't think we lost a game this year. I think we just beat ourselves."
Yeah. Well, the other team did score 45 points, so
yeah. Again, you clearly did something
Come on.
wrong, and they
If
did
this were
something much right.
21-17, like okay, maybe a few mistakes here and there. But
I was
you
saying
got
to
blowed out.
I was saying to Rashad in the break too, like on that trick play, like it's a trick play because teams get tricked, and there's usually a dude that gets left wide open. It goes for a big play. The Commanders, they played better than you on that play because they stayed at home, they saw what was happening, and they didn't get fooled. And then, yeah, you made the mistake by throwing that ball. But guess what? There was a guy ready. There was a guy in position because he was ready for whatever you guys were throwing out there. That sounds like the Commanders played better, especially on that specific play, better than the Lions did.
Straight up.
Period.
I mean, the entire game. So, or at least the entire second half.
All right, hour number 2. Let's get over to the AFC side of things. We know who will be in the AFC Championship game for now the 7th year in a row. The Kansas City Chiefs will be in the AFC Championship game. Who are they going to play, though? The game of the weekend. Bills, Ravens, we'll get to that as well. And we got a national championship game to preview that is happening tomorrow. We do that next. Hour number 2, Football Sunday, right here, 1080 Fan.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, we are in the middle of the divisional playoff round in the NFL. Yesterday, the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Houston Texans to move on to the AFC Championship, 23-14. The final, Patrick Mahomes at 177 yards passing threw a touchdown to Travis Kelce in the win. And a surprising win for the Washington Commanders over the Detroit Lions. They were 8.5-point underdogs, but they get the 45-31 victory in Detroit. Jaden Daniels, 299 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as 51 yards rushing in the win. And they will, of course, be awaiting the winner of the Rams v. Eagles today, playing for their spot in the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia. The Eagles, a 6.5-point favorite. Kickoff for that one at noon on NBC and Peacock. And then the other matchup in the AFC, the Bills and the Ravens, that's a 3:30 kick on CBS. Baltimore, a 1-point favorite in what's basically obviously a pick'em. And in the NBA, the Blazers last night losing to the Rockets 125-103 at home. Scoot Henderson, 21 points in the loss. They're back at it today hosting the Bulls as a 6.5-point underdog. Tip-off set for 6 p.m. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
This is your home for year-round NFL coverage. The Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Dude. Well, I guess you've got a point there.
This is Sports Sunday.
Hey, Skidmark Steve! Hey, dude. You still just hanging out playing Nintendo?
Well, if you must know, I'm in my second year of med school, and I'm training for the summer games. What are you two up to?
Just hanging out, playing Nintendo.
A recap of the sports week, a preview of today's games, and next week's big stories.
You think Shaq got rich playing in Orlando? Hardly. He made his fortune moving to LA. You know how much he makes now?
As much as he made playing in college?
What? No.
Now, here are Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher.
What happened out there?
You know, it was a team effort, and I guess it took every player working together to lose this one.
Thanks, Doug. And so,
Hey, want to do an interview with me?
No.
With Sports Sunday on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Bob, in all my years of calling games, I don't think I've ever been this excited. You're excited? Feel these nipples.
Hour number 2, Football Sunday, right here on 1080 The Fan. Now I don't have to say, well, I hope you're still listening and have Red Zone on the TV.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask, hopefully you have the American Express Championship on your TV and you are listening to us. We got the West Coast swing of golf, baby.
No red zone, commercial-free football or whatever the hell Scott Hansen used to say.
Yeah, used to say because it's no longer commercial-free.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like that. I was watching, big wrestling nerd, watching Raw on Netflix, and it went to commercial. I was like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yeah.
What? Like full commercials, not like, just 1 or 2 ads. Like, no, like I'm watching the USA Network or something else, and it's just showing me these commercials. Like, this is weak.
Well, they did that for the NFL Christmas Day games, too.
Weak.
Oh, and you know what's funny about it, though, is that watching those games and when the commercials were running, there was definitely part of me, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, this is on Netflix. And there was part of me where it's just like the commercials are expected in an NFL broadcast.
Exactly.
So it wasn't one of those where I was like, wait, this was Netflix. I thought there were going to be any commercial. It was almost, it just felt
That's
natural,
weird.
like a
Unlike
NFL broadcast, even though it was on a
Unlike
streaming platform, which is known for not having commercials.
I don't like it. Maybe 1 or 2 commercials, or maybe just put a block of commercials like in the middle of it or at the end of each hour or something like that. But just to have like commercials in between everything like it was TV is like, this is weak.
When commercials come on, I always think of Rod Tidwell's wife and Jerry Maguire. Oh, not another commercial when he's on the field.
Did the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight have commercials? Because I watched like the second half.
I don't think so.
I can't remember any commercials, and I think there's a good chance I might have just illegally streamed that. So
exactly.
But I went
Netflix.
I went east. I might have. I don't know. I'm stealing someone's account most of the time when it comes to Netflix, whether it's my sisters, whether it's the girlfriends. I don't pay for Netflix. I do have that. Hulu, ESPN Plus.
Do you have Tubi?
No, I don't have Tubi.
Everybody has Tubi.
I was going to
It's
say
free.
Tubi's free. Yeah. Exactly.
What's the problem? What's wrong with Tubi?
Actually, they replay like on Pluto TV or Tubi TV. They'll replay like old games sometimes, like NFL or NBA classics. They've got like a channel just running old games. It's kind of.
I also want to say I downloaded Tubi because they had MXC on there, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty sure you can watch every episode of Fear Factor on Tubi.
I watch Flavor of Love on Tubi.
You can.
Flavor of Love.
And Rock of Love.
Rock of Love.
Yeah.
Could you find Finding Love with Tila Tequila from way back in the day?
It's on there somewhere.
I Love New York. I'm sorry, the VH1 celebrity dating shows were far superior
to
than
the
the
MTV
ones.
I
Yes.
agree.
Classic. What was MTV's like?
It was the Tila Tequila one.
No, that was a VH1 one. I swear. I'm gonna look this up, but I am fairly sure.
I remember
it was a VH1.
I don't know if you remember
And then they had the Italian dude who finished like 3rd on the Tila Tequila show.
Yes.
And then they tried to make a show for him.
And I'm wrong. You were right, Joe. It was an MTV show.
Let's see. Real and Chance got a show from I Love New York. Everybody got a spinoff, kind of show. That was a great time in history. From any time from 2007 to about 2010, 11, like that was an awesome time for reality television.
Yeah, Rock of Love. That was a good one.
Bret Michaels, man.
Yeah, these like middle-aged, just trashy chicks.
And then there was a couple young hots on there, and then there's a couple like you're clearly a dancer, which is awesome for Bret Michaels.
Yes, I'm sure Bret Michaels got. He had a lot of experiences that men his age probably wouldn't have been able to, especially when you just rock a bandana 24/7 like that. I mean, that is a chance killer right there. Red flag when a guy's rocking a bandana like that,
like every day,
all the time.
It's to hold them hair plugs down. Yeah.
One of my dad's best friends, love this guy, but he rocks the hat and bandana look all the time. And I was like, he's either just, got that look down, or there is something that is going down underneath that he doesn't want to share with anybody.
Some guys just don't want to let stuff go. Like, I know there are a lot of men that are like balding and stuff like that.
We opened the show talking about Just for Men.
Yeah,
so.
like some guys just don't want to let it go.
No,
let it go, fellas. Like at a point, man, you don't want just the what do we call it? The Sherman Hemsley.
Like the monk hair look.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that people just need to let it go. The fact that the referees in NFL clearly want the Chiefs to win. I mean, I
don't think it's just the refs. I think this is the narrative that the NFL wants to put. It sounds weird, but like it's
when you
outrageous now.
When you have Troy Aikman audibly getting upset in the booth.
As a quarterback who literally got concussed out of the league. Let's add that too.
That's very true. Yeah, that dude had like 8 concussions in like a 2-year period or something.
Yeah, it was bad at the end.
He's complaining about a fake flop or whatever you want to call it.
Well, the one he was complaining about was the unnecessary roughness penalty where the 2 Texans players going after Mahomes actually hit each other in the head. They didn't even hit Patrick Mahomes, who was a runner on the play. But yeah, later in the game, Mahomes, as he's running to the sideline, slows up at the last second, and a Texans player pushes him out of bounds, and Mahomes gives the head snapback, the flop. That one was they got to do something about that.
What's in trying to induce a penalty, whatever the name of that is, it's encroachment or whatever. Disconcerting signals. That's what it's called. Disconcerting effort
Flopping.
on the play. Yeah, they'll come up with some term for it.
Or
but that's a 15-yard penalty and a loss of down.
Embellishment they do in hockey, right?
Oh, I like that.
Either way, it's become ridiculous, and we forget this. Patrick Mahomes is like a part owner of the Chiefs, right? And they give him like some type of.
I don't know about that.
Didn't they give him like some type of?
He owns
when he got his contract. Didn't he get like some type of ownership with that as well? Am I remembering that correctly?
I
know that he's bought like 2 teams in the Kansas City area.
Yeah, his wife.
I know his wife has like the soccer team.
Yeah,
or something
they're
like
invested
that,
in the women's soccer team, and
well, he's invested in the women's soccer team.
Yeah,
and giving it to his
so
wife.
Forgive me. So I
thought she worked for that money. All right.
She identified her prize early. Yeah, allegedly.
She was a successful soccer player in college, right?
Yeah, that's where all that money came from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows soccer players get money like that. But no, so forgive me if I'm wrong on that. But either way, Patrick Mahomes is the face of the NFL. There's no question about who the face is of the NFL, and I think they're going overboard to protect that. And it's becoming these games aren't fun to watch. And now I think if you're not a Chiefs fan, everybody is rooting against them at this point because this has become. Is this what it was like for Patriots, for people that weren't Patriots fans watching us win? Is this what it was like?
Actually, this might be a little bit worse.
Years later, it's like, wait a second.
I'm so sorry. It's like after the Black Lives Matter thing started, and everybody called me. It's like, I'm so sorry, man. Like, I didn't know. Forgive me, man. I had no idea it was as bad for you guys. That's kind of how I feel right now. It's like, yo, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't know that we did y'all like this, that you guys felt this way about us right now. But that's what it feels like when I'm watching this team play. Like everything that happens, I want Patrick Mahomes to throw the stupidest interception. I want Travis Kelce to drop the ball. Why is he always open? Why is he always open?
That's a great question.
He is literally never covered. He is always in wide open space. Why isn't there a blanket over Travis Kelce for every single play?
I like how 10 to 11 years into his career, we're still just like, hey, I don't know. Should we cover that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. No, he's not a factor. He's with us. He's with us. No, he's not. Like, he's killing you every game. Like, seriously, every pass that he catches, there's nobody around him for 5 yards.
Now, I will say this. There is a small part of me that very much enjoys the Chiefs winning and this happening.
I don't like it.
Because, listen, I didn't like the Patriots when they won as much either. I'm usually not a big, dynasty guy, but there's part of me that because of how upset people get. Now, I'll admit, the game yesterday, that was pretty ridiculous. Some of those calls that went against the Texans and then Mahomes flopping, it was just okay, I can't even defend this. But there is definitely part of me that kind of wants the Chiefs to win it all again just because how pissed off everyone's going to be. I almost love the troll aspect of the Kansas City Chiefs and how people just get so angry with them and them winning all the time and seemingly getting all the calls. There is just definitely part of me that finds it hilarious. I was doing my podcast with my buddy Tanner the other day, LA Chargers fan. So he clearly doesn't like the Chiefs. But when he was just going off about how he was sick of it, he's like, everything goes their way. The whole season, whether it's a blocked field goal, whether it's a penalty, whether it's the other team doing something stupid, the Raiders towards the end of the year snapping the ball when Aiden O'Connell's not ready for it, and then they turn it over in the fourth. There's always just something that happens where the Chiefs are able to pull it out. And I was like, that's what kind of makes it funny, is that they just somehow have some sort of black voodoo magic. They have sacrificed a goat to the devil or something like that in eyes wide shut masks under the Chiefs stadium.
And they still
and it just pisses people off, which it makes it hilarious to me.
They still probably managed to piss some of their own fans off yesterday too with that last second safety with the spread. I believe it was 9.5 before kickoff, and that was an 11-point game until Kansas City went back into the end zone and took that safety. Everybody on social media immediately went up in arms. There were so many people that put I think the smart money was on Kansas City to cover that game. A lot of hard losses at the last second.
Oh, dude, and then towards the end, because I want to say in that game the Chiefs they're up by 11, and Houston misses the field goal, or it gets blocked. So if you're sitting there as a Chiefs over a 9.5 better to cover 9.5, you're like, dude, we're good.
Oh, we're
blocked
solid,
field
baby.
Goal, we're all right. And then 15 seconds left in the game, the Chiefs punter takes the ball and runs it out of the back of the end zone to make it a 9-point game. And Joe Buck automatically called it out. He's like, dude, Al Michaels is laughing. Yeah, he is laughing somewhere right now.
Yeah.
If you had the Chiefs minus 9.5 and you are watching that, boy, I hope you're doing okay today. Because that was one of those where I had to explain to the girlfriend what was happening. I'm like, you don't know what just happened? And she's like, no. I was like, the Chiefs were a 9.5-point favorite. They were up by 11, and because they take that safety, they now are only winning by 9. And so if you had the Texans to cover, you're one of the happiest people in the world right now.
And how often does a safety just getting taken by the winning team happen at the end of a game?
Seldom.
Statistically, that is almost an improbability.
That's an all-time bad beat right there. Because again, with the blocked field goal, as Scott Van Pelt would say, you're good. You're good.
I don't know, man. Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs are great to watch, but they're also incredibly infuriating to watch. And I turn off the TV at a point. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't sit here and watch this, and I'll turn back, and the score is even worse when I get back to the game. So
now, to my buddy Tanner's defense, is that, again, he's a Chargers fan, so that is a divisional rival that's doing that. If this were happening to the Eagles and they were winning as many Super Bowls and able to skate by with this many wins late in the game, one possession wins, stuff like this, I'd probably be losing my mind.
And know why else I don't like it is they effectively ended the Patriots' run.
Who?
The Chiefs were the team that pretty much put an end.
Well, actually
traded Tom Brady.
No, I'm saying, but playing them in the playoffs and lose
Tom Brady never lost to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, well, I think he might of at one point.
All
Yeah,
I know
think
is
he
the
did.
last team that Tom Brady lost to was the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but I think that was in the playoffs. I think they lost to Patty Mahomes one in an early round. I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Tom Brady's. I don't know what Tom Brady's last Patriot loss was.
It wasn't great
in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't remember.
I
All I
don't
remember is him losing to the Cowboys for his final game ever.
Well, I mean, shout out to Andy Reid. I remember for a long time people said he just couldn't win the big one. Just not good enough, right? And that was the narrative about Andy Reid for the longest time. And now you say they're going to the 7th straight
Yeah.
AFC championship?
Yeah.
If that's not impressive, and if that doesn't put Patty Mahomes right there in that second spot, second or third spot, then I don't know. I don't know what does.
Well, I'm just glad that Andy Reid had all this success with the Chiefs and not the Eagles. I'll say that much. But who are the Chiefs going to face? Game of the weekend. It's a shame that this is a divisional round game and not like the AFC Conference Championship to go to the Super Bowl. Because both these teams, I am giddy about this matchup. Ravens, Bills, who's going to meet Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game? We do that next here, Football Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Someone I believe in was arrested
Yeah.
We're back.
You know, I'm
Hopeful
directly
Sunday.
responsible for his career.
Really?
I think so. I like to say it, but
Where's
I
the
mean,
residuals?
I don't have any, and I don't need any. But I don't know if that's necessarily all the way true. But it is kind of true, though.
By the way, he's talking about the artist in this song on our bump back, Amine, whose real name is Adam.
Adam Daniel. Yes, indeed. Went to Benson High School. So
what's your street name?
Yeah,
That's the whitest name ever.
No,
what's your real name?
So
Adam.
he's Etrian. So so he's of African descent.
Eritrean?
Yeah. So
is it Etrian or Eritrean?
I thought it was Etrian, but he could be Eritrean. I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those two. So forgive me if I got that wrong. But he was a student at Benson when I was working there, right? And so there's this program that I used to work for.
Benson Polytechnic?
Yes, indeed. So there's this program that I used to work for called Self-Enhancement. Shout out to Self-Enhancement. And we had this relationship with Nike. And the students would kind of get together and get in teams and design Nike products, right? And they'd have this whole competition where they kind of, did marketing and all the type of stuff. And then they do a presentation at the end of the year to see who had the best product. The winning product get a trip to New York, and then like the MVP gets a internship at Nike. And so Adam wasn't in SEI, and I was like, bro, I'm sorry. He wanted to be in the program. I was like, I can't. You can't do it. You're not in the program. I can't let you. And then somebody dropped out, and the supervisor was like, man, if he wants to be in it, let him. Like, it's all good. No problem. And he goes up there, and he absolutely kills it. And so he starts interning for a person that from Nike that intern got a job at Def Jam in New York. They said they needed interns. Called him. He's part of the street team. I also make music, too. You should hear this. There you go.
And Rashad was like, this is the wackest, most terrible music I ever...
No,
you're going nowhere with your career, Adam. Give it up!
And being real, at first, it was kind of like, bro, just...
You're embarrassing
yourself. You're a good rapper, but we should make sure we finish school, too. Like
Caroline!
I want you to keep doing that. And one day I'm in the car, and my son is 3 at this point, and he's singing the song in the background. I was like, what is this? And so I go home and looked up the song on YouTube.
That new Adam.
And I was like, oh my God, is that Adam? And he's got all his boys from high school in the video. It was
Mike's Drive-In.
Pretty dope. Huh?
Mike's Drive-In. I believe he recorded a little bit of the music video at like the Mike's Drive-In burger spots.
Yes, he did. So shout out to Adam Daniel, man. Shout out to Amine, who's continuing to do great things, from Portland, Oregon. So
and shout out to the Bills or the Ravens.
I'm gonna go Ravens. I'm an AFC East guy, so screw the Bills. But I do like Josh Allen, so it's kind of hard to say that. But I like Lamar Jackson more. I hope this is his year. I don't know if between Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, I don't know if there are two guys that can root for more. I don't think Derrick Henry's done anything weird over the last 7-8 years of his career. So I'm pulling for these two brothers to.
He likes feet.
I mean, don't we all?
I mean, that's not weird.
I'm
No,
good
I
with
think
the
some
pretty
people actually
a
hate
couple
feet.
pretty toes. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. So, but no, I'm really pulling for this team. I think really the Ravens just that rushing attack is just too much. And then all of a sudden, Lamar Jackson has really developed into a pocket passer at certain points. And so that's really the difference between him when he first started his first couple of years and really his last. Well, this will be a second MVP year for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Baltimore guy. I love my Orioles. I think that the Ravens, when they are in the All Blacks playing at home in a night game, I feel
nightmare.
like I love that look. Lamar running out to Omar's whistle.
Underrated jerseys, too.
The farmer in the Delta. Yes.
The Black Ravens,
The all
super
black.
underrated ones.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think it's sick. The Wire, one of my favorite shows of all time. I love Baltimore. I always
don't get lost in certain parts of Baltimore.
No, there's definitely stay
What
close.
you doing here, dummy?
Stay close to the bay. Stay close. earn.
Who is you?
Earn.
What is you doing here?
But there's something about both these teams where it's like I'm happy with either of them winning. Like
Right.
I want to see Lamar and the Ravens finally pulled off for Lamar's sake, right? Like I feel that. And this year was great for him as far as from a passing perspective, because I think that Lamar has been a great quarterback passing the ball since
his rookie year.
Yes, since he started playing. Like I remember the first game he ever played against the Dolphins, he was throwing bombs. He had like over 300 passing yards. So I always felt that Lamar was a good quarterback throwing the ball as well. And for some reason, every year it seems like there's a narrative that, well, can Lamar get it done as a passer? Can he get it done in the pocket? Can he finally improve his passing? I'm like, dude, he's good. He's really, really good at all that. What are we talking about? Yeah. So there's part of me that wants him to become vindicated as a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But again, the way the Bills Mafia, Josh Allen, that team, like, you want to talk about a franchise that needs a Super Bowl victory.
In the worst way.
I mean, the Buffalo, dear God, we all know about the 4 straight losses.
Yeah, Jim Kelly's calling.
And there's part of me that wants them to finally pull that off, because also Buffalo, that fan base, one of the best fan bases in all of sports.
Crazy bastards.
Yeah, I would say best.
Let's jump through a table from the top of this Winnebagos.
Cover ourselves in mustard.
What?
Best is relative here. Let's go wackiest or nuttiest.
Well,
they're great. We'll say they're great.
But also they rally around causes. Like, there's been, who was it? I don't know if it was like Andy Dalton's fundraiser or something like that a few years ago, where Buffalo Bills like flooded, the fans flooded it and donated a bunch of money. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, they got a bunch of money. They got enough to like buy each other cocaine to snort in the stands in Buffalo. So they are
and
wacky.
To be real, Buffalo's an underrated New York city. Very few people talk about Buffalo. Buffalo's actually not a bad spot.
Western New York in general is like, really beautiful. It actually looks a lot like here.
Yeah, Buffalo's not like a lot of trees, lots of green
hills.
Like Buffalo is actually kind of a cool city. Like, it just sounds, it sounds like a place full of stupid people, but the truth is it's not, man. It's actually super dope. And a lot of people, if you live in the New York area, most people live Buffalo, Jersey. Very few people live in like Manhattan, but tons of people do. But, if you're moving there trying to buy a house, most celebrities are living in Buffalo and they're living in, Jersey and stuff. So,
but I'm very much looking forward to this game, and I hope that the Ravens pulled out, but I'm not going to be upset if the Bills win either. But
hard to be.
Either of them, they got to go to Kansas City, and they got to go through the inevitable Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs once again to try and get to the Super Bowl.
And I think that's what they can't think about, is the fact that the Chiefs are going to be waiting for them. Like, either team, they've got to go into this. And I think, honestly, that's kind of what happened to the Lions last night, is the Lions
got ahead of themselves a bit.
They thought for sure that they're going to the NFC Championship. They're going to the Super Bowl. Everybody knows they're going to the Super Bowl. Washington doesn't stand a chance. This rookie quarterback doesn't stand a chance. I don't think either one of these teams can take each other lightly. I think if you're Buffalo, you've got your own demons to work at, like you said. And this isn't even just going back to historically the Buffalo Bills. This is for Josh Allen really getting over the hump in the playoffs. Like, I think he and Lamar Jackson, Lamar obviously has the Super Bowls, but their narratives are very, very similar as far as them being great. Neither one of them can beat this Kansas City team, though. Well, neither one of them can get it done when it matters. We've seen them have great games in the playoffs, but that doesn't necessarily equate to wins. So I think they're both kind of in a similar boat right now. They're both. I think this game is going to decide who the MVP is.
Well,
I think we know, but I think this game could decide.
So it shouldn't. All based off of regular season, right? But we saw from the All-Pro, the AP All-Pro selections, Lamar Jackson was named first team quarterback.
So that typically means
it's lean. It looks like it should be leaning that way. I thought it was Josh Allen's to lose. All the way up until literally the last week of the season, and now there's been a lot. I wouldn't be shocked if it went to Lamar. One thing I hate about MVP conversations is the whole he's already won it a couple times. So
yeah, it's we got to give it to somebody new. It's like, no, give it to the most dominant person that year. LeBron should have been MVP almost every single year.
But he already won it a couple
But he's
times,
got 4 of them, so we don't really. Jordan should have been MVP almost every single year, but he's got 5. We don't really need to give. Let's give this last one to Malone. What? Why?
Jokic, he already won it a couple times, so let's give it to Embiid. But Embiid doesn't want to play anymore, so
that's a whole. When we go back to Sports Sunday, I got a whole bag for that fool.
But okay, now this is where I was wondering about the Bills. They did go to the AFC Championship game in 2021. They
was that the year of the crazy great playoff games? That was might have been the 2022.
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. But it was the 2020 season, the COVID season, 2021 playoffs. But Chiefs won 38-24 in Arrowhead. That was the last time the Bills had been in the conference championship game. They've lost in the divisional round 3 years in a row now. So there's part of me that also wants the Bills to get back to the conference championship. Again, there's reasons I want to see both of these teams win to face Mahomes and the Chiefs again. Like, I want Lamar to have another shot against the Chiefs in the conference championship, especially after last year and how that went. Like, there's part of me where it's like, all right, we'll give you one more shot at this. Last year, you guys played a terrible offensive game plan and deserved to lose that game. But here's another shot in Arrowhead this time, so you can't play at home. Last year, it was in Baltimore. This time, it would be in Kansas City. And so it's like, all right, here's your chance to try and do it this time. You got to go to Arrowhead and to try and win it. So here's a chance. And then if they don't win, it's like, all right, you're in the same boat now as Josh Allen, where you guys just can't get over that Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes hump. Whereas the Bills, there's part of me that wants it. It's like, I will give you, keep going, try and get past the Chiefs. And this would be, I believe, they've lost to have they lost to the Chiefs every single year in the playoffs? No, they did lose to the Bengals that year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. But over the last 4 seasons, 3 of the last 4 seasons, it is losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah, so something's got to give for some team. And I think if there were a team to beat this Chiefs team, I would probably say it would be the Ravens. I mean, I think that rushing attack is super, super unique. You have the greatest dual threat quarterback of all time on your team. And then you have arguably
the best running back of this generation.
The best running back of this generation. And I think Saquon is right in there, but Derrick Henry is a different. Have you seen how big this dude is? He looks like
slipped up there.
Have you seen how big this dude is? He looks like a defensive end.
You see how big this dude is?
Yeah. That's how I catch myself, But man, I just get excited sometimes talking about sports. But man, I think he's too big. He's too strong. He runs. He knows how to find the correct hole pause when he's running. I think he's one of those dudes that he's again a generational talent. When was the last time we've seen a guy this big, this strong, this fast, this agile? Adrian Peterson.
I mean, he's bigger though. I mean,
I'm saying, but
comparison, people love to say like Eric Dickerson. Yeah,
And that was Eric Dickerson was 30 years ago, 35 years ago when Eric Dickerson was really out there doing that. So again, a generational talent, and then the best of all time at that position as far as a dual threat quarterback. Honestly, I think and then a great head coach. We don't give John Harbaugh enough credit for as good of a coach as he is.
Super Bowl winning coach.
We talk often about Mike Tomlin and how he's never had a losing season and all this stuff, and we harp about Andy Reid. John Harbaugh is the one guy that we never give enough credit to for whatever reason.
All right, let's take a break because we're way over the clock, but we got a national championship game to get to. National championship game, college football tomorrow.
Oregon's not playing, right?
No, Rashad, Oregon's not playing.
Would you just? Oh my God, I can't think about Oregon not being in the game.
Can't let it go,
anymore.
man.
Appreciate that. We go Ohio State, Notre Dame, national championship game next. Football Sunday. But first, Schulte, Sports Center update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, we're deep in the middle of the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Yesterday, the Chiefs beating the Texans to move on to the AFC Championship game. 23-14, the final. Patrick Mahomes throwing a touchdown to Travis Kelce in the win. Kareem Hunt adding another one on the ground for Kansas City. A surprising win for the Washington Commanders. They beat the Detroit Lions 45-31 to punch their ticket to the NFC Championship. Jaden Daniels, 299 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air, 51 yards rushing. Jared Goff threw 3 interceptions in the loss for the city of Detroit. On to today's action. You got the Rams heading to Philly, taking on the Eagles. The Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite in the divisional NFC round. That one a noon kickoff on NBC. And then you got a 3:30 matchup between Buffalo and Baltimore. The Ravens a 1-point favorite on the road in that one, and what's basically a pick'em That is a 3:30 kick on CBS. The Blazers take the loss last night to the Rockets at home, 125-103. The final. Scoot Henderson, though, 21 points in the loss, 3 of 5 from three-point land. They're back in action tonight, hosting the Bulls as a 6.5-point underdog. Tip-off at 6 tonight. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only Fan.
Shout out the Velvet Rope in Portland.
Joe's over here planning his trip.
That's great.
Absolutely not. Someone's planning their trip to Disneyland tomorrow night after the national championship game. That's what champions do. I'm going to Disneyland, or is it Disney World?
I'm going to Disneyland.
I think I feel like they've done both. I think
I'm going to the Velvet Rope.
Yeah. Yes. Woo! And the whole team is going to go.
I want Notre Dame to win this game. I cannot see Ohio State win this. It will make me sad. It will make me mad. It will make me very unhappy. So go Irish for the next 24 hours. Well, I guess more than 24 hours because the game wouldn't be until later in the day. But I still see Ohio State winning this game. The difference in this is that Ohio State, great offense. Notre Dame, great defense. Good little matchup there. Ohio State defense, very, very good. Notre Dame's offense, meh.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where it's like Ohio State, you have two great units, offense and defense. Notre Dame, you have a great defense. And if you have to depend on Riley Leonard and him having a great passing game, that's where you start to lose me with this Notre Dame team. Notre Dame has a good running attack. Didn't really show itself against Penn State. But again, that's where I think that Ohio State on both sides of the ball it has the difference in this matchup, where Notre Dame can maybe keep it close. You know, it will be within arm's reach the entire way. And then something will happen at the end where Ohio State's able to get a pick six. They're able to get an interception in Notre Dame territory that then earlier in the week, I was like, I'll take Ohio State 24-17. But the closer we get to the game, I'm like, this could be Ohio State 31-17. Ohio State 34-17 is now what I'm leaning towards, is that it's gonna stay close enough for Notre Dame to always have a chance, but then towards the end, fourth quarter, Ohio State starts to separate themselves and win this by a couple possessions, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. I think really Notre Dame is a team that just really, really relies on their defense. You know, during the game against, was it Georgia? I think Leonard had 90 yards, 93 yards, not something
rushing.
Stupid. Like no passing.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
So,
he had more in the Penn State game. He had like 200, 223 or something like that, I want to say.
Yeah,
as far as passing.
And that's 90
game,
yards, and that's being sacked once. So it wasn't like Georgia. Georgia was trying to get to him, but, didn't put as much pressure on him, and he still wasn't able to move the ball through the air like that, because that's not how they're going to beat you. But, Leonard did have 80 yards on the ground, and I think that's where he'll catch you slipping all of a sudden and kind of get to moving around back there. But I just don't know if Notre Dame has enough. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. Don't know why. Ever since convicts versus Catholics, I've never been like a Notre Dame fan, Notre Dame guy. It's just kind of one of those things, man. I don't know if it's just a family thing or whatever, but either way, I don't mess with Notre Dame. I got a lot of buddies that are big, Irish fans, just not one of them. But we all thought that Notre Dame was going to get rolled by Georgia, right? I don't think any of us here thought that, I think, their defense is good, but I think Georgia's going to take care of them. And they pretty much rolled them.
I had Notre Dame winning that one.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, once it wasn't a huge difference, but them losing Carson Beck and having to go to a backup first-time starter. And yeah, I love Notre Dame's defense, how they were playing. I was like, I think they're going to be Georgia's offense wasn't really to be anything enthused about. So.
And for me, I was kind of looking at it kind of through the lens I was looking at it through Ohio State, as far as like, yes, their quarterback is hurt, but there's another 5-star kid that's about to come in and take over for him. And that's kind of the
right.
landscape of these huge
The Georgia backup
programs.
quarterback is still a quarterback.
Yeah,
at Georgia.
Seriously. He was 5 stars and has 4 straight state championships and all type of stuff. So we thought that would be the case, and it wasn't. And then we thought, okay, well, Penn State is definitely going to be the team that takes them down, and they lost, they won a narrow game against them. So I don't know what to really expect from this Notre Dame squad. I know their defense is going to show up, but offensively, will they? And I think sometimes we've seen defenses just kind of smother great offenses. And if they're able to do that against this really, really good Ohio State offense, then Notre Dame has a shot. I just, I don't know. I think Ohio State might have a little too much all across the board.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Jordan, how you feeling on this one?
I mean, I don't want to see.
You're like me. You don't want to see Ohio State.
Yeah.
The whole what do you want and what do you think is going to happen. The what do you want is not what do you think.
No, it's just. As a Duck fan, I guess I care a little bit about this game, but, I can't really get mad at the format because, yeah, there's no excuses there. But I hope Notre Dame can show up, but I just know that Riley Leonard really isn't a true quarterback. That throw to Great Love, or Great House, excuse me, like I always confuse him and Jeremiah Love. My bad. That throw to Great House, a 7th grader could have made that. That big old touchdown pass, he was wide open, and the defense by Penn State just fell over. Like, anybody that points to that and says, oh, well, Riley Leonard can make a big throw, and I've heard that this week, stop it. That's crazy. Yes, they've got a couple of decent weapons on offense, but man, we've all seen what Ohio State can do. It's just too much. Jeremiah Smith's going to score 2 touchdowns. They've got a 2-headed running back attack. Will Howard's playing the best ball that he has all season. Need I say more? It sucks, but that's what it is.
Yeah, Riley Leonard has not passed for over 300 yards once this season. His single game passing yard best this year was 229 against Stanford. Next closest was 223, which was last week against Penn State. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, the guy, he's not even passed for more than 230 yards in a game this year. So that's where Ohio State, load the box, stop the run. If you can do that and force Riley Leonard to have to beat you with his arm, you can live with that. And I think that's what they're gonna do, and that's why I think Ohio State will end up separating themselves by game's end tomorrow, unfortunately. Come on, Golden Domers. Notre Dame pulled out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but,
They have God on their side, though. I don't care.
Apparently, God loves Notre Dame more than everyone else. Apparently, So, no, I'm not. Like I said, I've never been a Notre Dame fan, so I'm hoping that this goes the other way. But because I'm hoping it goes the other way, it's probably going to be Notre Dame's game to win.
How about we bet on it, or bet on some other games?
I'm with it.
We got Who Do You Love coming up next. We only have like 3 football games to choose from. So look at the spreads, look at the over-unders. You want to get crazy with the prop bets, go ahead. But we got Who Do You Love to finish up the show next. Football Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Join your local Crunch Gym to
Who do you love? Rashad and Joe share their predictions and look back at last week to see if they still love their picks. It's time for Who Do You Love? Part of Sports Sunday on 1080 The Fan.
All right, time for Who Do You Love? Take a look at the wild card round from last week. Your boy took the Bills to cover -7.5, even after the Broncos came out hot with the first ever rookie-to-rookie playoff touchdown. Bo Nix to Troy Franklin. That was the first
play. First score.
First quarter, first drive. That was the first ever, though, rookie-to-rookie touchdown in playoff history right there. Duck to duck. I took Bills to cover -7.5. Bucks Commanders over did not hit. Rashad took that as well, so we both lose that one. But my Kyron Williams anytime touchdown, it wasn't on the ground, but it was through the air. He did get that one, so I go 2-1. Brings me to 25-19-1 on the year. Rashad, your Eagles -5.5 hit. Again, the Bucks Commanders over did not, and the Vikings -2.5 definitely didn't hit. That brings you to 17-24-1.
What a crappy season.
Jordan, Bills Broncos under 49. was good there. Commanders to cover +3. That definitely did hit. Barkley, 2 touchdowns,
He didn't even get one.
No, big balls bet right there does not come through. 19, 24, and 2. You got a couple more weeks to catch up to me. I need to have just an all-time terrible run here, which isn't going to happen. I know me. It's definitely not going to happen. We're going to go Bills, Baltimore, Buffalo for my first game. I'm taking the over. I want fireworks. Over 51.5. That over in that Lions Commanders game hit in the first half, I want to say. But I'm hoping that we get some fireworks in this Ravens Bills game. So I'm taking the over of the Bills Buffalo Baltimore game there.
Rashad,
what's the over? 51.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I hate to take it too, but I guess I'm gonna take the under just if I have to catch up with you, just for that reason. I'm gonna take the under in that game.
All right, got you in there.
I guess I have to take the opposite of whatever you take, just to make sure.
Jordan, what you got?
This is a tough one. I mean, I feel like I want to go different from you guys, so okay, I guess I will. Screw it. Let's go anytime touchdown score today. Lamar Jackson going to be running it in. I think it's basically going to come down to Lamb Jack versus Josh Allen. And, I mean, with him and Henry on the side for the Ravens, I think they're going to get the win. But Lamar Jackson definitely in the end zone today.
All right. I'm going to go to the national championship game, and I'm going to say that I'm going to stick with my guns that I had earlier in the week when I was doing my podcast that Notre Dame covers. Ohio State's going to win, but Notre Dame will cover the national championship game. I believe that it is set at 7.5 at this point, I believe. Let me take a quick look.
I see 8.5.
8.5. Okay. It is gone to 8.5. Yeah, I'm going to go Notre Dame covers the 8.5 against Ohio State. Sticking to my guns from earlier in the week.
I think, geez Louise, I think Ohio State's going to win. I think considering the way they played, I think they're going to win by a lot. I don't know if Notre Dame has enough, and their offense is still very good. Their defense is still very good. So that point, the spread is 8.5. I think Ohio State's going to win by at least 2 touchdowns.
All right, Jordan. Bet number 2?
Yeah, I'll go the opposite side. I think Ohio State's going to cover that number. I just don't think Notre Dame's offense is going to compete. I'm really concerned more about like if Ohio State's offensive line could hold up as opposed to their defense. So I just don't think Notre Dame's going to get much done. Ohio State to cover that 8.5.
God, I hope you guys are on. Both going against me? How dare you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I am going to go Philadelphia Eagles. I am going to go with Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. I'm going to say that he either runs one in or Tush pushes one in. Yeah, let's roll with that. Let's have some fun. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. That's an 0-3 week right there for you, Rashad. I'm not confident about any one of those.
Taking anytime touchdowns. I'm going to go Devontae Smith anytime touchdown. We'll see. Yeah, I know.
Not even A.J. Brown, huh?
Nope.
You dog. All right. Locked in. Here's your 3. And Jordan, how are we finishing?
The line just moved, at least what I'm looking at on Bovada for the Rams-Eagles, to 7. I think the Rams can cover a touchdown, so I'm going to take L.A. plus 7 points. Can't buy a half, so I'm just going to say plus 7.
All right, I'm going Bills, Ravens over 51.5. Notre Dame covers the 8.5. Hurts anytime touchdown. Rashad's going Bills, Ravens under. Ohio State covers the 8.5. And Devontae Smith anytime touchdown. And then Jordan, you got Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown. Ohio State to cover 8.5 and Rams to cover plus 7. That is Who Do You Love? And we got a day off tomorrow, though. No work for anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There should be no work for anybody.
I was going to say, if anybody in the studios, if there's one person that should have that day off, I mean.
Why is that, Joe?
Because you're a hardworking guy.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Oh, of course. I forgot to mention, I'm going to take the Blazers over the Bulls.
Blazers over the Bulls?
Not at all. Lonzo's going to have a field day.
By the way, text message here on the Vancouver text line. Lion Commanders was in a dome, Joe. Bills Ravens is outside in single-digit temperatures. You sure about that over? Absolutely not. I'm absolutely not sure about that over. As soon as I say anything on Who Do You Love, as soon as I put
Completely
that,
disregard it.
oh yeah, well, as soon as I put that bet out there, I immediately regret it. I'm like, yeah, I'm loving this, and then I type it into my Excel spreadsheet and lock it in, and then I immediately regret. Again, this is an 0-3 week right here. I do not feel good about a single one of these picks, but I got to go somewhere, and there's probably better picks out there. But also to throw it back in that texter's face, that's I mean, the over is probably not likely to happen, which is exactly why the over is going to hit. You're exactly right. I mean,
like the logic.
Yeah, it should be an under game. It should be an ugly, sloppy, outdoors, cold game in Buffalo. That's probably like 17-14, but we're gonna have fireworks. We're gonna get a
Philly's gonna nickel and dime it
38-31 final or something in this AFC championship AFC divisional game.
I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a great slate of games today, starting at noon. Like, I'm looking forward.
I just really hope that the Bills-Ravens game is as good as advertised.
I think we need one. I think really that Commanders-Lions game had the potential for a while to be one of the best ever. Like, the way it started was like, holy hell, this is going to be a good game. And then like that. So hopefully.
The Chiefs-Texans one did not play out very well. I mean, it was kind of boring.
It's kind of slow.
Yeah. Hopefully, I just hope both of these games are bangers today.
Fingers crossed, man.
Hope the 3 that remain of this weekend are all great games. That's what I'm hoping for.
Fingers crossed, Brody.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, the rest of the divisional round. Enjoy the national championship game tomorrow and a day off.
Yes, I need it all. Probably take a day off Tuesday just because.
Rashad Taylor, thank you as always.
Thank you, Mudgy. I appreciate you.
Jordan Schultz, thank you as always.
Love you guys. Love you all out there.
Yes, all the listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. Very active text line today, too. Appreciate that.
Heck yeah. A lot of viewers on the YouTube as well.
Yes, but enjoy the 2 games today. Enjoy your national championship, and we will catch you next Sunday at 9 a.m. Peace.
Head search for A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Before getting a new train system installed, I was guilty of getting one quick fix after another.